You're standing in the grocery aisle at Loblaws, filling your cart with what you think is safe food. But here's something the stores won't tell you. Right now, you're likely holding products containing ingredients that Europe looked at and said, the risk is too high for our citizens. Health Canada and the European Food Safety Authority reviewed the same evidence. Europe banned certain additives. Canada said they're perfectly safe. Someone's got this wrong. I'm going to show you exactly what's on Canadian shelves that most of Europe won't touch. And by the end, you'll know what to avoid. Let's start with the one that shocked even grocery employees I spoke with. Number 1. Titanium dioxide. The whitening agent Europe banned. Walk down the candy aisle at any Canadian supermarket and you'll see bright white confections, Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Hostess cupcakes. Look closer at the ingredients and you might spot color or titanium dioxide. It's the same compound used in paint and sunscreen. In food, it makes things brilliantly white and opaque. Europe banned it completely in August 2022. The European Food Safety Authority reviewed thousands of studies. According to findings available at the time, their conclusion was that titanium dioxide could no longer be considered safe when used as a food additive. The concern isn't about large particles, it's about the nanoparticles, tiny fragments that can pass through your gut lining. Studies available at that time suggested these particles may cause DNA strand breaks and chromosomal damage in cells. Here's what makes this concerning. According to the EFSA's findings as they stood when making their decision, they couldn't establish a safe level. Not keep it under 10 milligrams, not limit exposure for children. They couldn't find any amount they were comfortable calling safe. In February 2024, CBC Marketplace highlighted the bigger issue from an investigation. They ordered the same snacks from Europe and Canada. European Skittles, natural colors only. Canadian Skittles sold at the time of investigation? Titanium dioxide. Health Canada's position, as published April 6, 2023, is that there is no conclusive scientific evidence that titanium dioxide, TiO2, as a food additive is a concern for human health at current exposure levels. And they say they'll keep monitoring emerging science. Same evidence, opposite conclusions. According to one grocery shelf stalker who spoke to CBC, customers came in asking about the EU ban, confused why products still contained it. Management told staff to direct questions to customer service. Nobody wanted to explain why Europe banned something Canada is still selling. Where you'll find titanium dioxide in Canadian products based on findings as of making this video. Cake decorations and icing, yogurts and ice creams, certain candies and confectionery coatings, some salad dressings and chewing gum. But titanium dioxide isn't the only split. The next ones are sitting in almost every Canadian shopping cart right now. Number 2. Artificial food dyes, the warning Europe requires. You've probably heard that artificial food dyes are banned in Europe. That's not quite true. But what is true might be more significant. Tartrazine, Sunset Yellow, Ponceau 4R, Allura Red, Carmozine, Quinoline Yellow. These are sometimes called the Southampton Six. In 2007, researchers at Southampton University tested children in a double-blind study. The results, published in The Lancet, were noteworthy. For 8 and 9-year-olds, researchers observed increases in hyperactivity scores when children consumed drinks containing these artificial colors. The EU didn't ban these colors. Instead, they did something arguably more impactful. Since July 2010, any product containing them must carry this warning. May have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Imagine you're a parent in the candy aisle. 2 identical products, one says it might affect your child's behavior. Which are you buying? According to food industry insiders, this warning label functioned as a de facto ban. Few manufacturers wanted it on their packaging. In Canada, no warning required. According to findings available as of the time of making this video, these dyes remained fully permitted without special labeling. Mars reformulated Skittles for Europe using natural colors like beetroot extract and paprika. Those same natural colors cost 10 to 100 times more than synthetic dyes. The European market demanded it. The Canadian market, manufacturers maintain the cheaper synthetic versions. A 2024 review in the journal Carcinogenesis noted growing interest in potential health impacts of synthetic dyes, particularly Allura Red, which metabolizes into compounds that interact with DNA. Where you'll find these dyes in Canada, candies marketed to children, fruit-flavored drinks, ice pops and frozen treats, cake mixes and frostings, and certain processed snacks. So these dyes aren't banned in Canada, but the warning requirement changed Europe's market anyway. And that leads us to something that's actually banned in parts of Europe but freely used here. Number 3. BHA and BHT, the preservatives with cancer links, BHA and BHT, butylated hydroxyanisole and butylated hydroxytoluene. They're antioxidant preservatives that stop fats and oils from going rancid. You'll find them in cereals, snacks, processed meats, chewing gum, and baked goods. Here's where it gets complicated. They're not fully banned in Europe, but they're heavily restricted with different countries taking different positions. BHA is classified as possibly carcinogenic to humans by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. The UK doesn't allow BHA in infant food. Japan and parts of the European Union have banned both BHA and BHT entirely. In Canada, according to Health Canada's position as at the time of making this video, after evaluating available science in 2010, they concluded that BHA is not harmful to human health at current levels of exposure. That assessment is from 2010. Europe continues to tighten restrictions. Canada's position hasn't changed in over a decade. Studies in animals have shown these preservatives can promote tumor growth. Research also suggests they may act as endocrine disruptors, interfering with hormone function, particularly thyroid hormones. One grocery employee told me, "Parents ask us all the time which cereals don't have BHA or BHT. We have no easy answer because there's no requirement to highlight it or remove it." The cost difference matters. BHA and BHT are cheap, effective preservatives. Natural alternatives cost significantly more and require reformulation. In Europe, companies were forced to make that investment. In Canada, they weren't. Where you'll find BHA and BHT in Canadian products based on findings as at the time of making this video: breakfast cereals, particularly those marketed to children, packaged baked goods, chewing gum, meat products, dehydrated potato products, and even some cosmetics and food packaging where it can leach into food. Companies including Kellogg's, General Mills, and other major brands use these preservatives in Canadian formulations, while European versions use alternatives like vitamin E. And speaking of packaging, the next issue affects virtually every canned product you buy. Number 4. PFAS, the forever chemicals in your food packaging. PFAS stands for per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances. There are over 10,000 different PFAS chemicals. They're called forever chemicals because they don't break down. Not in your body, not in the environment, not for thousands of years. You find them in food packaging designed to resist grease and water, fast food wrappers, microwave popcorn bags, pizza boxes, takeout containers. The problem, these chemicals leach into your food. Once in your body, they accumulate. They don't leave. The EU banned PFAS in food contact materials through regulation in October 2024. The phase-out timeframes vary. Most food packaging gets 2 years. Denmark moved faster than everyone else, banning PFAS in food packaging back in 2020. Canada. According to findings available as of the time of making this video, the Canadian government is phasing them out. In February 2024, the FDA announced that manufacturers would voluntarily phase out PFAS-based grease-proofing materials in food packaging in the United States and Canada. But voluntary is the key word, and the timeline extends over several years. According to CDC studies, PFAS are detectable in the blood of 97 to 99% of North Americans. They're linked to kidney and testicular cancer, thyroid disease, immune system damage, liver damage, and developmental effects in children. One fast food employee explained, "The wrappers we use for burgers, the boxes for fries. Nobody's told us whether they contain PFAS. Customers ask, but there's no labeling requirement, so we have no idea." Some manufacturers have switched to PFAS-free alternatives, but without Canadian regulations requiring it, you're essentially hoping your favorite brands made that choice voluntarily. Where you're still exposed to PFAS in Canada, based on findings as at the time of making this video. Fast food wrappers and containers, microwave popcorn bags, pizza boxes, certain baking papers, and takeout containers from restaurants. The concerning pattern: Europe acts, Canada consults. What should you actually do? Read labels carefully. Titanium dioxide appears as color or titanium dioxide in ingredient lists. Artificial dyes have E numbers or color names. BHA and BHT are listed directly. For PFAS, it's harder. Look for packaging labeled PFAS-free or choose restaurants and brands that have publicly committed to eliminating these chemicals. Choose products reformulated for European markets when possible. Many international brands maintain two recipes: natural ingredients for Europe, synthetic for North America. The promise of regulatory independence was taking control of our standards. We've taken control. The question is what we're doing with it. Europe reviewed the evidence and chose the precautionary principle. If we can't rule out harm, we don't take the chance. Canada reviewed the same evidence and often chose to wait for more data. Which approach protects Canadian families better? That's a question worth asking your elected representatives. Which ingredient shocked you most? Drop a comment. And if this helped you make better shopping choices, subscribe for more information that grocery stores won't tell you.